And so when did you start to get your bearings and start liking the U.S.? Like you said, it took 7 years. So you were like, what, 27, 28?
I think around the time when I met my wife.
Okay.
Who's now my wife today, Christina.
Okay.
Yeah. So
talk about that. How'd you guys meet?
So she's probably going to, I've said this story so many times.
Okay. She knows me. So
I worked at Mervyn's. I worked with her brother.
Okay.
Her brother is the one who made me feel so welcome and made me feel at home in America. And he took me around and showed me things. That's how
Mexicans are, man.
Yeah. And then obviously my British Punjabi friends that I'd made in the United States as well, that they also took me around and showed me around and introduced me to things. And so
this is really good, by the way.
It is awesome. Right?
I'm not a beer drinker, but this is some good stuff.
Truma this is the benchmark of Pilsners brewed in California.
The Brits know their beers. That's for sure.
That's when I tasted that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
we're onto something. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, yeah. So just just my association with my friends. So her Christina's brother, his name's Juan. We call him Kiko. Okay. And so just hanging out with him, and we had a blast. We'd go to San Francisco a lot, and growing up in the UK, we were part of the rave culture, the house music culture. I was part of the rave culture. Yeah, house music culture.
Yeah. Bay Area is a lot of house music, by the way.
Back up, to be honest with you, when I came here, it wasn't, man.
It wasn't.
I was pissed off and disappointed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the UK is just a couple years ahead.
Yeah.
Europe's a couple years ahead in technology, or back then they were, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they were a couple years ahead with house music. But when I was growing up, because so you're 47, you said?
47, yeah.
I'm 43, so that's 4 years. So I probably took about 4 years for it to catch up, because when I was growing up, it was all raves when I was like 16.
There was a huge delay in time for. I noticed that too.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I wish we had the technology that we have now back then. It would have been awesome, man.
Crazy, yeah.
But it was everything. So these guys are taking me out in the town, and one of my favorite DJs, his name is Carl Cox. And
I think I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's actually performing at the Sound Factory in San Francisco. Do you guys remember the Sound Factory?
Sound Factory.
Yeah. Check this out, man. I was maybe it may sound braggadocious right now, but I'm really not. I'm telling the truth. And my brother-in-law can attest to this, Kiko. I remember going back to Christina, how I met her. And so I used to go to clubs in San Francisco. About this story just popped into my head right now, where it kind of pisses me off a little bit. Going back to Mervyn, so the supervisor that I work with, awesome dude. His name's Barry. He's black.
Okay.
I have no problem, right? When I came to America, the first thing I noticed, and I couldn't shake it, was how segregated and separated everything was.
Yeah.
And it was far worse than anything I've ever seen in the UK. I mean, I had a mixed race of friends in the UK, white, Chinese, Jamaican, people from Africa. Like, we were all hanging out. We were all making fun of each other. we would take the proper Mickey out of each other. Yeah. Like, we'd get racist jokes down, right? I mean, but we never took it personal.
That's what friends do, right?
Yeah, we never took it personal. We just have a good laugh. Yeah. But over here in America, it was crazy, because one of my buddies in the UK actually left to come to Los Angeles the year before I came out here, and he goes, "Rav, you're not gonna like it over there." I said, "What you talking about?" But man, it's all segregated and separated over there.
By the way, Southern California is a lot more segregated than the Bay Area.
So he went,
but it's not on purpose though.
Okay.
But you'll go to pockets of Southern California and it's all one race, and it just kind of works. But it's not like it's racism. It's just they all kind of congregate in one area.
Yeah. Well, when you're at that level, at that age, you don't realize, but you just kind of got like, there's something wrong, man. Yeah. How come this is how it looks like. Mervyn's was a good spot to explain it. When I go into the break room, there was the Philippines.
Yeah.
There was Mexico. There was China. There was the white guys, and in the back and outside patio, there was this hodgepodge crew of people. Yeah. The misfits, and then right? The guy goes to me, "Rav, come over here." And I have so much respect for this guy. His name's Carlos. Awesome dude, man. He took me under his wing, and very father figure like, and he really made me feel at home, that guy did. I haven't talked to him in years, man. That guy's awesome. But he really made me feel home, and I met Juan that way. And we were just talking. But Barry, the supervisor, being a black guy, gave me a couple of tickets to this place called Release 1015 Folsom.
Yeah, I remember 1015 Folsom.
All right, he gave me tickets. He goes, "Hey man, when you get there,
that place is still around. By
it
the way.
is, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, when you get there, talk to this guy right now. And I've already told him that you're coming. And I said, hey, can I bring anybody else? Who else can I bring? Yeah, do you want some extra tickets? I was, yeah, I'd love to take one. I mean, all these guys, these guys are new. And he goes, hey, meet this guy at the door. And I was like, awesome, man.
Wow, so
we're gonna go to the place. A big time hookup. Barry was related to the owner of 1015 Folsom.
Oh wow.
They're related as family.
Wow.
And that's how I know it. But when I approached the guys about going to this place in 1015, and at that time they said, no, we're not interested. We don't want to go. We're good.
Who said that?
These guys that I was hanging out with at work. I mean, it's going to sound messed up on right now. I probably regret that action at that time. But I guess their experience in life that they've had made them make that decision of not going. And it was based on the fact that Barry was black.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
And, I didn't see that.
So there was like a hint of racism.
Hint of racism, yeah. And so I went with some other friends, my British Punjabi friends that I'd made over here in America.
They're
right?
like, rave? Let's go.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be a rave, man.
Oh, okay.
I just knew it was going to be a place to go out in San Francisco. And we went out there and I met the doorman. I met all the people. I got VIP and I got to know everybody. You know me, Isaac, man. I'm very social. I meet everybody. I connect with people. I shake hands, and I'm doing my rounds, right? I got to know everyone. Went there a bunch more times, man. There'd be a queue around the building. Yeah. I'd never queued up. Yeah. I went straight to the front door, and Wolfie the doorman would open the door up for me. Hey, up, come on in. He
That's an awesome feeling, right?
We call him Wolfie, but he's a German dude, right? And he let me in, and I get VIP. I'm the only one drinking beers. After alcohol cutoff time. Yeah. I'm in the VIP section, and all the bartenders would give me out their purses, and and even at Sound Factory, I used to be able to get into that place for free. Just walking up to the front door, never queued up. I never queued up.
And by the way, that was probably the heyday of those clubs, because when I started going to them, they were kind of like phasing out a little bit.
Really,
1015 is still around. They're still going strong, but. Yeah. Sound Factory was phasing out a little bit by the time I started going to them. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were like living it up, VIP during the heyday of those clubs.
Well, see, I didn't know that I was. It was normal for me, right? Yeah. But then I'm taking my wife's brother to the city.
Okay.
And I'm showing him around and he's getting the same kind of treatment.
Yeah, he's like, Rav, you're cool,
dude.
Man.
Well, this is awesome. I said, man, I try to introduce you. This is like, And he goes, yeah, but Rav, you got to understand, man. The tickets that you got, I thought it was going to be for some venue that belonged to, tended to be for the black people.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a part of that. I was like, what's the hate? What's the animosity? He goes, well, when I was growing up as a kid in Union City, I used to get the shit kicked out of me by the black kids. They used to get beat up. And he just had we just kept it separate, and we don't want nothing to do with it. I just had an experience that he carried forward.
Yeah. And the trauma from young.
So he carried it forward, and that was why he didn't go with me at that point. But I made such good friends with this guy, Juan. I saw his sister in a club one time. Oh. Right? And actually, I saw her the first time at his house. Yeah. And I said, man, your sister's fine. That's what I said, right?
Yeah. That was the word of the 90s,
dude,
right?
he got pissed off.
Of course, right? You never tell
my sister like that, man.
Yeah.
You told my sister like that. And I was like, oh, shoot, I thought it was complimenting.
No, not to
Anyways,
Latino.
I saw her in the club. Right? I saw her in the club, and she was holding some other guy's hand, and because they were dancing or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, it's like, I just kind of felt like
your competitive juices came in.
But we're not dating. We just know each other kind of because
you liked her.
I liked her a lot. Yeah, a lot. And slowly, but over the years went by, and one time I guess Juan went to San Diego, then up into Mexico. Oops. And then I went over to his place. Back in the day, we had pagers. Remember?
Yeah, I remember pagers.
No cell phones. So I went over to his place, expecting him to be there. He wasn't. His sister answers the door. And
my opportunity.
It wasn't that way. Honestly, being respectful of my friend. Course, I didn't know. I want to be respectful of my friend.
That's a difficult situation to be in, though.
Is it? Yeah.
To really like your good friend's sister, because no matter what, not me, but some guys are very protective of their sisters.
Oh, absolutely. I don't blame him, man. I really don't, because she's awesome. But even me being in that place at that time, I had no intention of being that person that was busting moves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've just been me, friendly.
That probably worked out for you better.
Probably.
Than you kind of like being all aggressive and trying to,
Yeah.
bust moves on her. She actually got to know the real you.
I guess so. Yeah.
And you got to let your guard down, and that's
we were just friends, man. We were just friends for years.
How long were you guys friends for?
A couple of years, I think 2 years.
Okay.
And then we got to the holding hand stage after a couple of years.
Oh,
I'm telling you, man.
That's a true courtship right there.
Really?
Those don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, I was totally respectful of her, man. Like, cause I knew that was my friend's sister.
Shoot, I don't think I've ever had a 2-minute courtship. Just kidding. Not really.
But absolutely respectful of her. And I wanted to make. To me, I don't know. It's like she was. I called her princess at the time, but she was like just pristine. Is what I wanted to say.
So love at first sight.
Absolutely, maybe. I reckon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
infatuation at first sight, but love grew over time.
I guess so. It could be. But long story short, my brother-in-law, he's not brother-in-law now, but he found out.
Oh,
and he set his boys to come get me, right?
Really?
And, went through that drama. Yeah.
What happened with that?
It all worked out. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
You know,
obviously, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys joke about it now, or
we do?